Could the poetry of Paul Celan, a man who bore witness to the horrors of the Holocaust, provide a unique perspective on the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict? What might he pen about the situation today? Paul Celan, a Romanian-born poet and translator, lived through one of the darkest periods in human history. His work reflected the anguish of the Holocaust and the struggle to make sense of such profound human suffering. As we grapple with the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict today, it's worth pondering how Celan might interpret the current situation. Consider Celan's approach to writing about historical events, particularly the Holocaust. His poetry often utilized stark, haunting imagery and dense, layered language to convey the depth of the pain and trauma experienced. His famous poem, Death Fugue, for instance, presents a chilling depiction of life in a concentration camp. Contrast this with today's Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a complex and multifaceted struggle that has been ongoing for nearly a century. The conflict, which began in the mid-20th century, has seen various attempts at resolution, from the First Zionist Congress in 1897 to the Oslo Accords of 1993 to 1995. Despite these efforts, the situation remains fraught with tension and violence, with issues such as the status of Jerusalem, Israeli settlements, borders, security, water rights, and the Palestinian right of return remaining unresolved. Celan's poetry often grappled with themes of oppression, suffering, and the search for understanding amidst chaos. If he were to write about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict today, he might focus on the human cost of the conflict, the lives lost, the homes destroyed, the dreams deferred. His work would likely echo the pain and frustration felt by both Israelis and Palestinians, while also highlighting the urgent need for reconciliation and peace. In the spirit of Celan's work, it's important to remember that the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is not just a political or territorial dispute, but a deeply human struggle involving real people with real hopes, fears, and dreams. The conflict has resulted in civilian casualties on both sides and has been a source of immense suffering and hardship. The poetry of Paul Celan, born out of the trauma of the Holocaust, offers a poignant reminder of the human cost of conflict and the enduring need for understanding and reconciliation. His work invites us to look beyond the headlines and political rhetoric, to see the human faces and stories at the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So, what have we gleaned from this exploration? Firstly, the power of poetry, as exemplified by Celan, to illuminate the human condition in times of conflict. Secondly, the similarities in the human cost of the historical events Celan wrote about, and the current Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Lastly, the need for understanding, empathy, and reconciliation in resolving such conflicts, a sentiment that resonates strongly in Celan's work. While we may never know exactly what Paul Celan would have written about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, his poetry provides a valuable lens through which to view and understand this complex and enduring struggle. His words serve as a reminder that in the midst of conflict and suffering, the human spirit prevails, yearning for understanding, peace, and ultimately, reconciliation.